All right, we had day 2 of San Francisco 49ers training camp in the books. And today was honestly one of my favorite training camp practices in a long time. And I also think that's saying a lot considering it was a non padded practice and it was only day 2 of the entire training camp. But there was a lot of plays being made today, offense, defense. And today, for me, you really got to see kind of the potential of what the San Francisco 49ers could look like. So I'm pretty excited about it. There's a lot of stuff going on today, a lot of plays being made. So I'm going to try to recap everything. Way better view, had the binoculars out. We're going to break it all down. But you guys already know what to do. Drop your SDS in the chat, smash that like button, and let's talk about day 2 of San Francisco 49ers training camp right now. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. All right, guys. As I mentioned, up the audio here. Hopefully the microphone sounds good. Let me know in the chat if the mics are okay. But today was a fun day at San Francisco 49ers training camp. I got a Mikel Williams update. I focused on him for just a handful of plays. And in just those handful of plays, told me almost everything I needed to know about Mikel, the 49ers number 11th overall pick from Georgia, and I'm pretty excited about that. But there's a bunch of standouts. Also, I'm going to tell you about the rookie that I'm really starting to like. It's only day 2, but he is earning some stock in my book. Also, a center that I think we need to keep our eye on for when pads come out. So those are things that I want to mention and what we'll be talking about. But again, like I said, it was a great team period. It was a lot more focused than yesterday, a lot more energy, had a much better view of the field today. They had switched over, and we actually had a great view and a great perspective of team period. And it's so much better this way because it's like the all-22 look. We're basically in the end zone, and so you get to see everything from that vantage point. So it's actually pretty solid. And so we got a lot of plays being made today. Brock Purdy was looking good. I got to say, Mac Jones was looking really good too today. Mac Jones was making some plays, and I'll give you the play of the day right out of the gate. Play of the day today was Isaiah Neyor, undrafted free agent, wide receiver rookie from Nebraska. You had George Kittle hyping him up in the offseason, I think on the Bussin' the Boys podcast, just talking about how freaky he is, how much length he has, and how much ground he eats up. So Isaiah Neyor goes down the middle, probably 50-plus yards. Mac Jones just uncorks this deep ball. And I had the binoculars on, so I was tracking the ball. And so I basically had this, like, up-close perspective of this play. Chef's kiss. It was so nice. Mac Jones puts it in the perfect spot. In between 3 defenders, Isaiah Neyor goes up, high points it, but he has to like contort his body, bend backwards, go over his head, make this crazy catch in between 3 defenders, and you're like, oh my goodness. And I'm talking about, this wasn't just a good play for today. This was a good play in a lot of the camps that I've watched, it was really just like a wow. It was a legitimate wow play by an undrafted free agent rookie, and you're like, oh, this guy's got to make the team. I don't know, like, can you allow this guy to go that can make a play like that? I'm very curious to see if the San Francisco 49ers post this clip, because it was sick. They should post it. But if they don't, it's probably because they don't want any other team to see it, in the event that they just don't have the room to have him on the active roster, and they're trying to sneak him through to the practice squad. But Isaiah Neyor, with an absolute beautiful catch. And honestly, while we're on the topic of the wide receivers, some guys are starting to step up. I know the situation with Ayuk and Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall continuing to put in a lot of work in the rehab process. I wouldn't be surprised if Ricky Pearsall is back in the next couple of days, just based on how he's moving and what he's doing. But Russell Gage also had a crazy good catch over the middle, where he kind of had to almost get horizontal and stretch out and make this catch. Russell Gage, he's had some success in Tampa Bay, but I would say Russell Gage is a name just worth paying attention to. I don't know if he'll make the roster, but practice squad potentially. But he's actually been playing pretty well, and of course, Demarcus Robinson has been a constant over these last 2 days. Jordan Watkins has been getting run with the ones quite a bit, so the rookie wide receiver out of Ole Miss is getting some action too. He didn't really make a ton of catches today, but I would say it was more Russell Gage, more Demarcus Robinson, Isaiah Neyor. Hodgins got involved today. Isaiah Hodgins got involved on a couple plays. St. Brown, Equanimous St. Brown caught today over the middle, and all that good stuff. So, again, man, I know that the wide receiver room isn't a bunch of name brands, but these guys are still making some plays, so it's given me some hope. Brock Purdy also had a beautiful throw, had a clean pocket, and I could see it perfectly, where you had George Kittle kind of angling towards the sideline. You had Trey Brown in coverage, and Trey Brown had pretty solid coverage. It was man coverage, and Kittle or Brock just threw it right to the outside shoulder towards the sideline, only where Kittle could get it, and Kittle went up and made a nice snag. Kittle and Brock's connection has definitely been on display over the past 2 days. So for all my fantasy heads out there, we saw what George Kittle did last year with Brock, even amidst, some hiccups with some injuries and things like that. Something tells me George Kittle, Brock Purdy, they're going to have a big season this year that is going to continue. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'll start with the offense, and I'll get through the offense again. I want to talk about Mikel Williams, and I love the fact that Trent Williams talked about Mikel. So I'm going to also discuss that, but I have some juicy nuggets from Mikel today. But I want to stay on the offense for right now. A name that I want you guys to pay attention to, and I want to have on your radar because he's on mine, Matt Hennessy. So, as it stands right now, we know Ben Bartch, NFI list. Nick Zakel, who's kind of been the backup center, has been getting the start at left guard with Bartch being out. But Matt Hennessy So today, I have my binoculars, and I come across this offensive lineman, and I'm like, who is that? Again, just scouting the body, scouting the frame, kind of being able to tell, like, that guy's athletic. I don't know who he is. I don't know what position he plays. Because he was wearing 61. I'm like, I don't know who that is. And I'm like looking through the binoculars. I'm like, but he has the frame of what looks to be an athletic interior offensive lineman. I look him up on the roster. It's Matt Hennessy. And so I'm like, noted, I'm going to watch you today. Well, I started watching Matt Hennessy. He was the second string center. And every time I watched him, he was creating running lanes for the running backs. He, on two particular plays, he had a inside shade interior defensive tackle, and he got him out. Both times, running back runs right off his hip, up the middle, and I'm like, yes, Matt Hennessy, I want to see you with pads, because obviously right now Jake Brendel is slated to be your starting center, but I do want to see a competition. I do think that Jake Brendel deserves the opportunity to get the start, but I want to see a competition. I want to see some iron sharpening iron, and I think Matt Hennessy has some potential. So when pads come on, again, it's really hard to determine right now, but watching him in pass protection and watching him in the run game, Matt Hennessy looks pretty solid. So I'm very intrigued by Matt Hennessy and seeing what he could potentially do. So that is a guy that I have bookmarked, and when pads come on, that is what I am going to be looking forward to seeing in regards to the offensive line. So Matt Hennessy is a guy that has stood out. I'm a big fan of Jordan James. I think the Jordan James hive is buzzing. I just love his style. You can tell that this guy has the ability to move and shift and jump cut but he's physical. Like, I'm a big fan of Jordan James. This one play that I really, really loved of Jordan James, he broke out. He's running down the right sideline, and it's towards the end of the play, so he's already like 40 yards from the line of scrimmage, but a DB still kind of runs up on him, and as the DB runs up on him, he just mushed him in the face, like straight up stiff-armed him in the face, like, get away from me. And they were like chopping it up, like they were cool, like it was nothing malicious, but it was like instinctual. This DB comes up and he just straight mushed him in the face, and I'm like, I love this Jordan James guy. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of this Jordan James running back. He even had another play today where it was a rush to the right, and he beat everyone to the edge. And he turned it upfield. So I'm liking what I see. Again, no pads on, but what I'm seeing with no pads, I'm seeing it should translate. I obviously watched his tape coming out of Oregon, so I know that that's already kind of his style. But I'm a firm believer that Jordan James, he might be involved quite a bit this year. He's been catching a lot out of the backfield. He's good in between the tackles. He's good outside. He really is like Jordan Mason with a little bit more twitch. So I think I'm like one or two practices away from like full blown Jordan James hive 2.0 JP hive. Like, I'm very close to just being full blown Jordan James hive. Like, again, the mush in the face today like was the cherry on top. He had already just had a sick run, and then he just mushed the cornerback in the face. I was like, I started laughing. I was like, hell yeah, like that's what I'm talking about. And again, I had the binoculars on, so I was super close in on it. Just mushed him. So I'm hyped about that. Let's see. Green getting toasted like sourdough grilled cheese. I'm going to talk about the defensive backs here. I'm going to try to get through the offense. I'm going to talk about the defensive backs. I'm seeing a lot of. They're definitely trying to find a group. There is a lot of rotations going on right now, and there's some good play from some of these DBs. So I'm going to talk about what that rotation looks like, as well as this. So I'm going to come back to Upton Stout. I think Upton Stout absolutely looks like a guy who's going to play quite a bit this year. I got a play noted from him that was really, really solid. So I'm going to talk about that as well. But as we continue to move through the offensive portion of today's team period, again, Mac Jones was cooking, guys. Like both Brock and Mac played well, but if I had to give you an objective evaluation of who had the better day, both had good days. I would say Mac Jones had the better day. Again, he had that deep throw to Neyor, and then he had these two just beautiful passes. I'm talking like threading the needle. There was this one throw where he had to layer it over and in between bracketed coverage, and it was just like cutting through butter. He just zipped it right in there. And unfortunately, Juwan Jennings dropped it, but I was like, oh, that was a beautiful throw. And then he came right back after that and did a layered throw, but a dart in between bracketed coverage. So he did one layered over bracketed and then in between bracketed, and Braden Willis came down with it. And I'm like, Mac is cooking with gas today. It was crazy, dude. I'm being honest. Mac Jones was on fire. He had one overthrow today, but other than that, he was hitting guys over the middle. He was moving up into the pocket, finding his checkdowns. Mac looked confident. Mac looked ready to go. And again, that's awesome because he signed a 2-year deal, and if he comes out and he shows out in preseason or any of those things, that's a guy you could potentially flip for capital. So, and it's also a good thing, again, knock on wood, anything happens to Brock, Mac is looking very competent. So it was a great day for Mac Jones. He, even Kittle was getting hyped. I know, like, after a play, Mac Jones came off the field. Kittle was like, hey, like that. Mac was having a noticeably good day. So, again, not to downplay anything that Brock did either, but Brock had, but I would say Mac had the notch. Brock had one really good play, too, where he was, like, rolling out, and there's a defensive lineman in his face, and he had to stop and do his, like, signature Brock Purdy sidearm sling around the defender to get it to Demarcus Robinson. It was pretty impressive from my vantage point to see how he kind of he bent that ball around the defender. So it was pretty good. It was a good day for Brock. No interceptions, and I really low in completions. But Mac was I'm male Mac, man. I'm like, okay, Mac. I was genuinely getting excited for Mac for how well he was slinging it today. So he played pretty well. Tanner Mordecai had some good throws, but Tanner Mordecai also threw an interception to Stone Blanton. Stone Blanton, the undrafted free agent linebacker, I believe, out of Mississippi State, had a nice pick with a little bit of a return to it. So Stone Blanton making a play as a UDFA against the third team offense. Let's see what are some other good offensive nuggets that I got. CMC looks good. I'm really pleased with the running back core right now. Obviously, the 49ers made a roster move today. They signed Quintez Cephas, I believe, and they released Israel Bonaconda. And, Bonaconda was running pretty well yesterday, so I was kind of surprised by that. But after, again, watching CMC, Garendo, Patrick Taylor, Jordan James, and Corey Kiner, I kind of understand it because they're all running really well. Corey Kiner, his feet don't stop moving. He's one of those like hamster wheels. He's not a big back, but his feet just don't stop. So Corey Kiner's solid. Isaac Garendo's been solid. CMC is CMC. One of my favorite plays of today was just like the perfect embodiment of iron sharpening iron. You had Christian McCaffrey. It started out, looked like a zone right, and then he cut back to the left, and it looked like there was going to be this like parting of the seas where he was going to be able to have like a big gain. And then out of nowhere, here comes Fred Warner. And you know Fred, right? Fred Warner, defensive guy, high energy, just gave CMC the little shoulder check. And I was like, yeah, like this is football, man. The best linebacker in the league, best running back in the league, meeting in the hole. You got Fred giving him the, a pretty stern shoulder, nothing too crazy, nothing where you're like, oh, that's over, but it's like, it's right. Fred went right to the line. He didn't go over the line. He went right to the line of, hey, I'm here, man. And I was just like, yeah, dude, this is football. Like it's good to be back. And that play to me was really like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But again, like I said, George Kittle and Brock's connection was on full display. That's something that I'm going to be definitely buying into this one coming up. Oh, yeah, Mac Jones also had a really nice back shoulder throw to Jawan Jennings. I'm talking about Jawan was absolutely covered, and Mac threw him open with a back shoulder. It forced Jawan to stop his route, but because Jawan stopped his route, he was open because the cornerback wasn't looking at Mac, so Mac knew that, and so when Jawan stopped, the cornerback's momentum kept going, and it was just, Mac was cooking today. I don't know how else to say it. Mac was cooking today. So credit where credit is due. And again, there's nothing to be upset about. Brock Purdy's your quarterback. There's no quarterback controversy. Mac Jones was just having a great practice today. Let's talk about the defense, though. I want to talk about the things that excited me with the defense. Mikel Williams. Mikel Williams. I'll have an update on Martin as well. My update for Watkins is he was out with the starters. Watkins, strawberry. Watkins is getting a lot of run. He didn't do a ton today, but he's getting opportunities. Like Jordan Watkins is probably going to see some considerable snaps as a rookie, for sure. He didn't have like a crazy day or anything like that, but he's absolutely getting opportunities. But I want to talk about Mikel. I'm excited about Mikel. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I was lukewarm on the pick. I wanted, a couple other guys. I didn't really watch a ton of Mikel, admittedly, pre-draft. So I was kind of lukewarm. I'm warming up though. It's getting toasty around here, especially getting to see Mikel. And it was awesome that Trent Williams talked about Mikel Williams today, because I had focused specifically on Mikel during team period, where I watched about 4 to 5 of his snaps in a row. And let me tell you, let me break down this Mikel Williams sequence for you. First play, he's on the outside, so he's in the wide 9. So he's outside shade of Kittle. Kittle stands up, motions across the formation to the other side. You got Trent Williams right there, and it is a run to the left. Trent Williams goes to square up on Mikel to try to push him. Mikel sinks his hips, extends his arms, and doesn't move. Literally did not move. And I'm like, oh. Granted, it's not pads, but that's Trent Williams. And Trent Williams went head up with Mikel, and Mikel went, I'm not going anywhere. And when you talk about what the 49ers, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan talked about with Mikel being the best edge setter in this draft, I just watched it. I just saw it. He literally sunk his hips. He's a big guy. He got his pad level lower than Trent Williams. He anchored himself with his base, and then he extended his arms, and Trent didn't move. Mikel didn't move. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Because one does not simply hold up against Trent Williams. That's just not something that we see all the time. And it play out like that. It was pretty awesome. It was really awesome. So I'm like, okay, Mikel. He then shifts inside, because you guys know I've been talking about the dog roll, right? Edge setter in base downs, kick inside to rush the passer. This guy is standing up. He's standing up. He is, I don't even know if I want to call it a 2-point stance. He was just kind of standing there, menacingly, like just lurking over the guard. And you got Bosa on one side, Bryce Huff on the other, and then you just have Mikel standing straight up over the guard. And I'm like, this is unusual. The fact that he was over the guard, but the fact that he was standing up, I'm like, that's crazy. And then he dropped into coverage. I'm like, they're dropping Mikel Williams into coverage? That's crazy. So I was like, oh, that's cool. That's that is a wrinkle that I was not expecting. I was not expecting Mikel Williams dropping into coverage. Um, and then you had the next play, Mikel kick out over to Colton McKivitz. He beats Colton McKivitz around the edge and runs right past Brock Purdy. 1 second, 2 second, ball goes out. It would have been a sack. So I'm just like, again, no pads, no pads, no pads. Stands up Trent Williams, drops into coverage, beats Colton McKivitz around the edge for a sack. I'm like, I'm like, okay, John, okay, Kyle, you guys know what you're doing. You guys know what you're doing. I see the vision. It might have been a little slow to come around, but at least initially, I'm coming around. I think Mikel could really be a problem in this defense. They clearly have him designated to do multiple different things. So I'm really excited about that. So that was my Mikel nugget. Someone had asked about Nick Martin. There was a play where Nick Martin shot the gap, stopped Jordan James in his tracks, and it was a nice play by Nick Martin. Again, it's hard to see sometimes when you got those guys in the wash, but I could clearly see him shoot the gap, and then he did a solid job of stopping Jordan James. So Nick Martin flashed on that particular one. There was another one where Upton Stout would have had a tackle for loss in the backfield on a Patrick Taylor run. So Upton Stout is doing very well. He's doing very, very well, very well. So I think Upton Stout is going to see a lot of run. I think they're really trying to figure out what their best defensive back pairings are. I've seen Richie Grant at safety. Jair Brown made a play today. Brown. So I think Brown would have made a TFL in the backfield on a CMC run. So I think Pinnock has been great. You have guys like Trey Brown getting in the mix. I would say that from what I saw, Stout looked to stand out a little bit more than Trey Brown today. But you're kind of seeing a mix of it all. I think they're really just trying to figure out what that secondary is going to look like, and but I think that Stout is going to be a hit. I think Jordan James is going to be a hit. I think Mikel's going to be a hit. I think Watkins is going to be a hit. I think Nick Martin is going to be a hit. I think this might be another draft class like last year. I haven't seen a ton of West in team period. I haven't seen a ton from Alfred Collins in team period, but that is just more because it's really hard to see in the trenches sometimes, and it's really hard to focus on the trenches unless you absolutely decide you're not going to follow the ball and you're just going to watch the trenches, which is what I did with Mikel. But even Jordan Elliott, I think, made a couple plays today. Oh, Sam Okuwanu. I think Sam O had like 2 sacks today. I know he had one. Jonathan Garvin had a sack today. Tanner Mordecai almost tripped, and then Garvin would have been right there to get the sack. Sam O's been looking solid. Yeah, Sam O had at least one sack, but I think he potentially could have had two today. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, today was a good day. Today was a jam-packed plays being made on both sides of the ball. So today was fun. Today was a fun day down in Santa Clara, watching football. Did Brock get sacked? I had Mikel getting a sack on Brock. Mikel definitely would have sacked Brock, in my opinion. Again, the defensive line is coached not to not sack the quarterback. But yeah, absolutely, Mikel would have got him, in my opinion. So I'm hyped. I think there's a lot of question marks still, but I'm seeing some answers now. They're not definitive yet. We got to get pads on, and we got to see this develop. But I feel way better about a lot of stuff today on day 2. So yeah, today was a good one. Today was a good one. I was really happy. Today was fun. Today was just like, oh yeah, we're playing football again, guys. Today was like, okay, we're back. Oh, like, we're back. We are back, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Nice song.
Thanks. So overall, it was a great practice. It really was. So I think that when pads come on, this team's energized, guys. Like, this team's this is not last year. This is not last year at all. This is not that same, like, dragging through the mud kind of practice. Like, these guys are getting after it, and I think it's only going to not ramp up when the pads come on. So Huff, he's looked good in drills. I haven't really seen, again, I haven't, like, watched him in team period. I'll try to make a point to watch him tomorrow. Again, Mikel was someone I just hyper focused on today because I wanted to see, and I'm glad I did because I really was impressed with what I saw from Mikel, but I got to do the same thing with everyone else. You really have to zone in and only pay attention to them on that rep, which means you're potentially giving up what happens on the overall rep, but it is what it is. It's just the nature of training camp. So I'm going to keep an eye out for sure. But overall, today was a good day. Boys were balling. Shout out to all you guys. If you came and said what's up to me, today was crazy. I was doing my recap video, and I turn around, and there's, a group of people who were wanting to get a photo and an autograph, and it, like, turned into a line of like 20 people who wanted a autograph or a photo, and it was just crazy, crazy humbling, crazy surreal, and I just appreciate all you guys. If you guys have, supported my content, watched my videos, like my posts, or whatever, just talking ball, and just the support that you guys give me. Like, I signed jerseys. I signed multiple jerseys today. I signed footballs, and it's like, again, it's not like, oh, I'm signing it next to Kittle's autograph, Fred. Like, it's crazy to me. So I just appreciate all you guys. You guys made me look really cool in front of my daughter today. So I wanted to thank you for that. That was awesome. And I really, really appreciate all you guys. You guys are really cool. And the support really means a lot. I was telling my daughter, it's like, it's crazy because I don't do it for that. I just do it because I love football and I love talking ball and I just love posting about it. Like, that's really what it comes down to. And the fact that you guys show so much love is awesome. So I really appreciate you. And I just wanted to share that with you guys, that it means a lot to me. And I appreciate it. So, anyways, I appreciate you guys, and that's it for the updates today. But we'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll have more updates, more reports from training camp, all that good stuff. So appreciate everyone who tapped in today. Smash that like button on your way out. Grab your cookies. Appreciate y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to